What is up, everyone? Welcome to another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Guys, we have a new Temporal Vortex rotation. I haven't done a video from the main account on the 4th difficulty of the Temporal Vortex, only from the free-to-play account. So I'm here to kind of like show you what I'm running on my team. I have lost quite a bit of damage. I've lost around 600 plus million damage from last week, where the damage was much better. I was doing like 1.8, 1.85 billion damage. And as you guys can see today, we are at 1.23 billion damage. So that's a massive, massive drop in damage. One thing to keep in mind is going to be very different for each one of you guys, because it all depends what you chose to do in the Psychic Core with the Elemental Affinity. Some of you guys went straight into maxing the damage reduction. Some of you guys went into maxing the damage. Some of you guys probably did a different elemental affinity. I'm now running a wild team. Thanks God for it. I do not want to see that team in the Temporal Vortex for a very, very long time, because the RNG on that team was literally driving me nuts. Constantly having to retry that team 10, 20, 30 freaking times a day to get the best possible result, and sometimes was actually not even happening, right? So that was pretty annoying. Let's quickly talk about the Temporal Vortex. What modifiers we have this week? Why is it not necessarily the best for our team, right? So this is really favoring Dauntless characters. Truth be told, I did not try to run a Dauntless team at the moment, and that's mainly because my Psychic Core is not really at a high level for them. So most likely is not going to beat this damage no matter what I'm going to try to do. The elemental affinity combination, right? We have poison and we have lightning. I don't think is going to benefit me a lot in the Temporal Vortex, at least not enough to really push my damage to over 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 billion damage. Now, the whole idea here is the following. Allies' attack speed is increased by 50% and basic attack damage by 30%. When an ally receives healing, they gain a shield equal to 50% of the healing. The bigger the heal, the bigger the shield, which can be really, really helpful. From phase 5, where allies' heroes deal increased damage equal to 20% of the total number of buffs on the team, was much better. Then you were gaining increased attack. That's why the damage was crazy high. So when we are talking about how long is your team surviving, that is once again based off what you've done in the Psychic Core, based on the builds that you have on your characters. But I'm going to show you what I have on my team, for example. So I am running the following team. As you guys can probably notice, we have Asilia, Felocia, Sheena, we have Zorak, and we have, of course, Beldele. In terms of stats, I do think they have pretty damn good stats, because that's my Asilia. She has almost, she has 140,000 HP, which is pretty damn nasty. We have almost 4,000 defense, and we have 363 enlightenment, which is pretty good for an Asilia that has only 1 inspiration, okay? Then, if we are talking about Felocia, she's definitely not in the best spot, but she's not doing too bad either. I don't really care that much about her HP and defense. I do care about her having very high enlightenment in order to generate a bigger shield. And we do have a Puppeteer set on her with the Aurelian Vest. But that's basically what we have in terms of stats. And you can see the talents right here. Pretty damn helpful all around. Then, the damage dealers. I do have 2 of them inspired at maximum. Inspiration 5, that will bring me more damage reduction. So my team will, of course, survive more because of what I have on them with the inspiration. Then they do have pretty good base stats. And that, of course, brings in a lot of help from the inspiration too. That's my Zorak, for example. Yes, I'm still running the pipe organ. Why am I not running the ribs? Because it's just not giving me more damage. As simple as that. And for whoever does not understand the concept, why this artifact is on Zorak, is mainly because you're going to boost your attack on Zorak and on Sheena. This will not boost the attack on Beldele because Beldele is a melee character. But I do have almost 8,300 attack on Zorak. Okay, that is a pretty high attack. Now, if I would run resistance, his attack would drop significantly, and I would not be able to keep the skill haste on him. And that's mainly because I just do not have a good negative or a good positive rune. It seems like this season, even though I've been farming Heretical Ruins and the Ancient Battlefield the entire week with the double drops, I'm just not getting any for the ice element. Funny enough, this shit happened in the previous season, pardon my French. Last season I was running Wildfire. I was not getting runes for the fire element, no matter what I was doing. This year I'm maining ice, I'm not getting runes for the ice. So if I go and forge with all of the materials that I'm getting, 200 of them, I'll probably get 5 from the ice element and get 1,000,000 from every other element. Probably is just my bad luck. But hey, it kind of sucks that it happens this season too, just with a different element. But the whole idea is the higher the attack on him, the more attack she will gain. And is because of this piece, the Crimson Shadow Weapon, okay? At the start of the battle, the wearer gains an attack bonus equal to 20% of the attack of the ally with the highest attack, okay? That's why I am running the Pipe Organ on Zorak, because of that piece on Beldele. That will give her a lot of attack. One thing to keep in mind when you are building an Ice Blast team is that Zorak will, of course, trigger this passive on everybody, which will increase the crit rate on all of your characters. Beldele will have a passive that will transform the crit rate into crit damage multiplied by 3x, which means that your Beldele will end up in having an insane amount of crit damage, which will bring you diminishing returns because your attack will be so low that no matter how much crit damage you are constantly gaining, you're just not scaling your damage good enough because you're having a low attack on her. So that is one of the problems to keep in mind. That's why you need to kind of like try and find as much as possible that sweet spot, that balance in between attack and crit damage. So the higher the attack on her, the more damage output from the character, okay? So that's why I'm running this piece as well over a different piece, for example. I actually forged my mythical piece of gear today, and this is what I went for, okay? A lot of you guys might be curious. Skratch, have you forged the piece of gear? I did. I went for crit rate made. I went for 1 sub on attack, quad on crit damage, okay? Because I am trying to get good attack on her too. The only thing is I do not have tempering materials to increase the attack on here at the moment, but I will be doing that later at some point. That is basically what you need to keep in mind. Very, very important. Having the right talents as well. I know last time when I made a video on this, I had slightly different talents on Sheena and on Zorak. Now, because Zorak has such a crazy high attack, this is the talent you want to get on him. When gaining Overflow Ice Crystals, deals 120% attack, cold damage to the current target. On Sheena, you want to get this. When casting a battle skill consecutively, damage dealt increases by 2% each time up to 15 stacks, okay? Which will really boost her damage a lot. Then, when we are talking about skill timing, okay, and Sheena's build, for example, I don't have crazy crit rate. More crit damage on her would be amazing, and heck, more attack on her would be amazing too. She does apply the Witch's Remains. One thing that could really, really improve my build right here would be having another attack chest piece from this set, okay? Having a different one like this would be absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, I do not have one. Maybe, damn, I thought that maybe this will give me a bit of extra crit damage. Maybe I have some gloves from the same set, even though I do not believe it. Yeah, unfortunately, I do not have any of the right pieces to boost her damage even more, because I don't really need this healing piece. It's not really going to help me at all, right? Now, the funny stuff. Let's talk about skill timing. Let's talk about the bonus talent, which is this one right here. I am running the Tidal Surge. I have everything maxed in there, of course. The whole idea is 19 seconds to 20 seconds cooldown. Why? Because that's usually when the boss kills my units, if it's not killing them before. We have 15.5 on Asilia, 20 on the recast. 15.5 will basically get one hit at almost full HP at 15 seconds. She will come in with her skill, dispel the defense down, generate healing, and when the second hit comes in, we are not on low HP, which won't kill us usually, up to a certain point, of course. If you would run a 14.5 seconds right before the hits happen, you're going to get both of the hits while you're going to drop the HP pretty damn quick and most likely die earlier. Now, with Velocia, the best skill timing that I had was 25 to 20 seconds. That offered me a good survivability. When we are talking about the other characters, as you guys can probably notice, we have 17.5 seconds instead of 18. Now, I do have a Puppeteer set for whoever just plays the game without actually reading anything and is constantly putting it in the comments why you have that skill timing when their skill cooldown is on a 20 seconds. A Puppeteer set, go and read what it does, equip it on one of your characters. In my case, is on Velocia, and then you can use an 18 seconds cooldown. But because I have extra additional skill haste on my characters, the main goal is to get him down to a 17 seconds cooldown rotation, which will require me to have better runes, but I do not have that at the moment. Because I have some skill haste on them, you see all of them, they have 19.5, okay, which allows me to run them on a 17.5 seconds cycle rotation. We have 11.5 on him, we have 11.8 on her, and we have 18.5 on her, okay? You want her to use that ultimate skill right before the defense down expires, so she actually gets to stack the passive from Zorak. That's how Beldele will deal more damage. Now, I will quickly show you the best score that I've had today, which is 1.23 billion, right? 1.23. That's literally barely getting me in top 10. Pretty damn crazy. There is, of course, hard work. If you do not have a 4-star Beldele, 4 inspiration Beldele, or hack. A 3 inspiration Beldele, or hack. This is not inspired. This is very, very good damage. But he has a very solid build on her. Very high attack, okay? As you guys see, this right here is crazy, crazy high attack, okay? Probably he has a good chest. This is something that most likely he forged this time around. And he has this that he brought in from Season 1, which is a pretty good piece as well. But having that very high attack is actually really, really good. And he's not running the Titan Rib either. He is running the Downpipe Organ. And he has slightly higher attack than me. Okay? So, all of that being said, that justifies his score. His Asilia is really not much stronger than mine. She does have higher enlightenment, which can be really, really helpful. And his Velocia, more or less the same thing. Just different sets. She's running 3 years Emblem Dagger instead of running the Puppeteer set as I have it. And that doesn't really necessarily make much of a difference. Then, let's quickly see if anybody is running Dauntless before we're going to go into a run with my team, just to show you how it works. We have one wild team at the moment in here, but that's a max Flora with a Chrysos, okay? I don't have Chrysos. I'm not even thinking about that team whatsoever. The fun thing is, there are no Dauntless teams anywhere, okay? Ice Blast everywhere, okay? I bet even if I go down to this score, I'm still not going to see any Dauntless teams. Now, I'm pretty positive that my Dauntless team will get close to 1 billion, or at least I hope so, but they're definitely not going to beat the score that I currently have. Now, let's dive into a run and show you exactly how my team works. There is a bit of RNG in here as well. In anyone dies early or anything like that. So we have the clans. You're going to get to see everything better later on in the run. So in probably around a couple of minutes. Because you're going to see the damage, how it's being dealt, the healing being applied, and overall how the team dies, okay? Because that's going to be pretty important. I do not survive all the 10 minutes, and that's mainly because I do not have the damage reduction. But I will be working on that later on. At the moment, I have a completely different game plan and strategy that I'm adopting this season to try and get as high as possible on the seasonal leaderboard. I'll see if this strategy works or it fails. But if I'm not able to do top 5 on the temporal vortex on daily basis, which is something that I cannot do because I am going against mega krakens with very high inspirations on Beldele. Inspiration 2 is very powerful, so if they have it, I know for a fact I won't beat them, okay? So because I'm not able to do top 5 on the temporal vortex to actually really make an impact, top 10, it doesn't matter if it's top 6 or top 10 itself, is good enough, okay? But as you can actually see it right here, we are surviving pretty well for the moment. The damage looks pretty good. We have 450 million, and we are at 6 minutes and 30, with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left. Let me know in the comments down below, how long is your actual team surviving? Are you going all the 10 minutes? What have you done in the Psychic Core? Have you maxed the damage reduction, or you are working on maxing the damage reduction, or you're working on something else at the moment? Or have you started with the damage reduction first and worked on the damage after? That's another thing that I'm curious of, because some people did prioritize the damage reduction over the actual damage, right? Because that's really not a bad thing either. The only thing is, it will kind of like handicap you versus the continental bosses if you are doing the damage reduction before you're actually doing the damage. So we have 780 million damage. Now, my Beldele is really not performing too good at the moment. If we're looking at her damage output per second, is on the low side. She's usually at around 17, 18k right there, or whatever it is. 1 million. Is it 1 million? Yeah, probably is a million there, right? Numbers are moving so quick that I can actually get them. Yes, it's 1 million per second. Usually, she does a bit better. So from here, all the hell is unleashed. I'm just trying to quickly find my freaking mouse to put it on a slower speed so you guys can see what happens. So we are at a 1 billion damage. We have 3 minutes and 25 seconds left. One hit comes in. Asilia comes in with the healing, and dispels the defense down, which keeps them on. Okay. The boss comes in with a big AoE. That's why I have the Tidal Surge shield dropping in at the 19 seconds right before the boss is hitting me with that skill. But of course, is not enough. That is a pretty light shield. Asilia gets a pretty damn big hit from the boss. One hit coming in. Dispel, generating healing. We survived the second hit, but somebody's definitely gonna die right here. Or get close to it. Okay, Beldele died. So the damage is a bit on the low side. But that's basically where kind of like everything goes wrong. There is a bit of an RNG in here. Is the boss going to crit? Is he not going to crit? Is he going to absolutely demolish my entire team? Or he's not, okay? But that's basically it. That's how the team works. And as I was saying, Beldele was definitely on the low side with the damage this time around. But that's how you should try to build the team. Now, in terms of skill timing, feel free to play around with whatever works for you. For me, I found that this worked the best, okay? Maybe you guys are trying different things, and maybe that works better for you. I've tried all type of different skill timings. Don't worry about it. And they do not work better for me. If I'm doing Felocia at 20.5 to 20 seconds, Asilia will get one shot at the 7 minutes mark by the single target hit, even though I have disgusting stats on her. And because of it, the run actually ends even faster than now, okay? But that being said, I will, of course, have to get better runes to be able to upgrade this team, get slightly better mythical pieces, and that should be pretty much it. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.